My approach was more important than how my swing looked. This is what Jeff Frye, a former big leaguer, told me when I interviewed him last week. Write that down. My approach is more important than how my swing looks. This is a very common saying among the best of the best in the game of baseball. They all had a plan. They knew what they wanted to accomplish at the plate. And here's the case. Your son or your player is more than likely getting themselves out more than the pitcher is getting them out. So stick around and learn how we can be 10, 15, 20, 25% better depending on where you're at. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Jeff Frye with athletic-mission.com. I help baseball players and baseball coaches develop the tools and the skills needed to advance their game in their development as baseball coaches and baseball players. In this video, we're going to talk about your hitting approach. And then we're going to talk about your hitting approach based on the count. If you have a plan, an understanding of your approach when you go to the plate, and then you have the discipline to stick to it, you're going to make yourself significantly a better hitter. Most hitters do not have an idea of how to hit. And what we tend to do as players and coaches, we tend to focus a lot of our time on the swing. But like Jeff Frye said, the swing's important, but it doesn't matter what your swing looks like if you have a plan and an approach, then you're going to improve your chances of having some success as a hitter. Especially as you advance into the higher levels of the game where the pitchers are getting really, really good. So here at Athletic Mission, our approach is to help hitters develop first their approach, and then their vision, and then their mechanics. Now, approach can be developed with young kids. You just have to keep it simple, and we'll talk about that another time. So with that, it doesn't matter if a young 9-year-old walked in here or a professional hitter walked in here. They all need help and an understanding of what their approach is and how to develop one. So here's the problem that we see with hitters across all levels. They do not understand what it means to have an approach. So therefore, they do not understand how to develop one. So what we see with hitters across all levels, they're just giving a bat away. So let's first try to understand what an approach is. An approach increases your chances of success and showing your capability to actually play the game. Now, we need to understand that we get about a minute and a half per bat throughout the game. A minute and a half. So you can't afford to give away a bat. Remember, the difference in high school and the college level, the difference between hitting 250 and 300 is only about 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. That's it. So just by developing a game plan and having an approach, you put yourself in position to have good at bats. Developing a game plan takes time. Developing the discipline to stick to it takes time. So that's why it's important to start the process early, so you can improve week after week, month after month, year after year. Now, let's talk about how I teach guys about their approach. 1, we always want to know what we want to do with the fastball. 2, we want to get a good pitch to hit. And 3, we want to develop a game plan based on what you're seeing from the pitcher and the situation. So let's go over that. Number 1, what do you want to do with the fastball is an important question to ask yourself, because it's going to help you figure out what you will do or not be able to do with the other pitches. So, for an example, if my plan is to hit the fastball to right center field, then I will have a chance to keep the changeup and the curveball and the other pitches fair. Because since I'm letting the fastball travel a little bit deeper, now I let that off speed and the secondary pitches also travel a little bit deeper, allowing me to hit and keep it fair. But if my plan is to hit the fastball to the left center, then I'm planning on, in my mind, I'm planning on getting the head out and catching the ball out front. So this means that I hope that I swing and miss if I get the off speed or the breaking ball. Otherwise, I'm going to be slowing down my bat and I'm going to get a weakly hit ball, which is what the pitcher wants. That's the result that they're after, trying to get us to speed up or slow down our bat. So that's the idea of knowing what you want to do with the fastball. And neither one of them is wrong. You just have to understand what it means when you choose what you want to do with it based on what the other pitches. And then this leads us to the next part, which is getting a good pitch to hit. So to come up with a game plan, we like to tell our guys about the one location, one pitch, and one speed concept. So the concept basically says the following. With location, there's 4 potential locations and areas on the plate that we can look for the baseball. One is going to be over the plate, taking away the black. 2 is going to be the outer 2/3 part of the plate. 3 is going to be the inner 2/3 part of the plate. And the 4th one, we're going to look away and react in. So we tell guys to pick one and have the discipline to stick to it. So that's the one location. From there, we tell them that we want to pick one pitch. There's so many different pitches. We got the fastball, we got the changeup, we got the curveball, sinker, slider. We can go on and on and on about the different pitches, but we want to pick one. And for the most part, we're telling guys to pick the fastball because it's the easiest to throw and it's the easiest to hit. So, and then from there, we're telling guys to pick the speed. So there's 3 different types of speed. There's the fast, medium, and slow. So when the pitcher is fast, we tell ourselves to load earlier. When the pitcher is medium, we just take our regular load. When the pitcher is slow, we load later. So now we have a game plan, and we have predetermined the pitch that we're looking for and what we want to do with the fastball. Now we got to look for that pitch, and now we got a good pitch to hit. Now, another thing that we instruct guys to do is having 2 different counts. There's either less than 2 strikes or there's 2 strikes. We want to treat every pitch with less than 2 strikes like a 3-1 count. Why? Because typically we're sitting on our pitch, and our mentality is to drive the baseball. So anytime you have less than 2 strikes, we're treating that pitch like it's a 3-1 count. And then when we have the 2 strikes, we need to have a 2-strike approach. So with 2 strikes, we tell our guys that we want to, again, it's all understanding what you want to do with the fastball. So here we're telling our guys to take the inside pitch and drive it right down first base line, right down right field first base line. And now we're letting the ball get really, really deep, which then let all the other pitches get really deep as well. So with 2 strikes, we're telling guys to get the ball up as well for the most part. Now, understand that at the big league level, 50% of your at-bats get to the 2-strike count. So half of your at-bat, you're going to have 2 strikes. So while it's a hard count to hit with, but you're going to have to accept that you're going to get 2 strikes, and then you have to bear down, focus, and concentrate a little bit harder and compete your tail off. Now, the last thing is developing your approach and game plan based on what you're reading and what the defense and the pitcher is giving you. At the end of the day, you got to find a way to get ahead or find a way to help your team win games. So, if the defense, if they're shading you to left field, then you may need to try and drive the baseball down the right field line. If you are fast and the defense playing you back, then you might drop down a bunt, a drag bunt. If they're the runner on second, you need to find a pitch that you can drive to right center. If you see the pitch, he starts everybody off with the curveball, you may need to sit on the curveball and get that ball up. So you will have a different plan based on the game. So you need to pay attention and find out ways to be productive in your lineup. Because if you show up with the same plan from a bat to a bat to a bat, the pitcher's going to make a jump and they're going to figure it out. And they're going to get you out, or you're going to get yourself out. This is like a basketball player, every time he gets the ball, executing the same route every time he's on the court. Eventually, he's going to be easier to defend and miss out on opportunities to score. So, I hope all of this makes sense. Having a hitting approach is important as you advance in this game. Having a hitting approach will allow you to swing at better pitches. Having a hitting approach will allow your swing to be on time. So, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Also check out the link in the description box. We'll see you in the next video.